Even in a deep midwinter at -20 degrees Celsius, enthusiasm abounds in China's far northeast. Relations with Russia on the other side of the frozen Heilongjiang have warmed in recent years. And for these winter swimmers in Heihe, military tensions, even conflict, now appear history. 200 metres from the river, Ding Chuanfang sells Russian furs, chocolate and other signature items. 20 years ago when she opened her shop, Heihe was an isolated backwater. Now it's a key trading hub and gateway to the Arctic, fueled by good business links with neighbouring Blagoveshchensk.
This is very important and makes the city more prosperous. Here it's a border city with few people. This has helped increase the population and helps business and the development of every sector of the economy.
While Russia is strong on timber, oil, gas and heavy goods that China's industry needs, it's weak on manufacturing everyday items for consumers. So Heihe, a small city of 180,000 souls, is a magnet for those within easy reach of the border. 250,000 Russians stream into Heihe every year, mainly to buy consumer goods that are far cheaper here than on the other side of the Heilongjiang River. Their spending accounts for almost 20% of the city's total retail sales, and they also support a vibrant restaurant and entertainment sector. In the early 1990s, much of the trade here was barter, Chinese watermelons in exchange for Russian fertilizers. Business channels developed slowly until 2004, when Russians were allowed access to all of Heihe, not just a small island trading zone. Then in 2008, as the national governments of China and Russia were negotiating a $25 billion oil deal, business and travel procedures at this border region were simplified further.
The government departments communicate often to discuss how to improve the cooperation between people from both countries and living standards in this border region.
There are areas, however, of political discomfort. China, which controlled much of Russia's Far East in the 19th century, allows Russians visa-free travel to Heihe city. But this isn't offered to Chinese crossing to Blagoveshchensk. Russia is suspicious of its neighbours' intentions. The Far East is vast, resource-rich, underpopulated, and Moscow has largely neglected the region for decades. Now an estimated 80,000 Chinese do business there and repatriate their profits, which is akin to an economic invasion by stealth. Many cross the border at Heihe, where traders haul clothes and electrical goods for sale on the other side, or there's the likes of Zhao Lijing, who awaits her husband's return from a 2-month working stint. 8 months of the year, she's also a migrant worker in Russia's Far East.
To get on in life, every country is the same. Life in China is good, and development is good. Because we're close to the border, I want to go out and look for opportunities.
And that's what Shi Liwen did for 14 years, selling fruit and vegetables from Heilongjiang before establishing this wholesale operation back home in 2008. It's now Heihe's biggest private company, bringing in produce from all over China for Russian markets as far as the Arctic. These are necessary supplies for normal daily life, and they're also half the cost of European produce. Following a November 2010 intergovernmental agreement to ditch the US dollar in bilateral trade, Mr. Shi can now do business in renminbi or rubles directly, instead of having to first change his money into dollars.
Now that we can exchange RMB and rubles directly, our company will start doing business in these currencies. It's a stable development for our enterprise. It saves us from all the complicated formalities and the extra currency exchange losses.
Heihe has actually operated such a simplified currency exchange system for over 5 years, allowing local shops to accept rubles from Russian customers. Most visitors first head for the nearby huge hangar-like buildings which sell almost everything imaginable. Electrical gadgets are favourites, as are clothes and sports goods, though it can be difficult to verify authenticity. Each trip, the Russians can return home with up to $400 in goods duty-free. Xu Guanchen, a former farmer from 900 kilometres away, took a gamble and started selling sportswear here 8 years ago. He's profited well from Hehe's Russia-friendly policies.
With good preferential policies and government support, I've made the decision to do business here. Bought an apartment here and decided to move all the family here. That's my decision.
At the highly visible consumer level, whether here in Hehe or in the markets of Russia's Far East, much of the money flows into China's purse. But this is not a zero-sum game. At the macro level, Russia's $21 billion in exports to China, including oil, metal and ores, nearly match its imports. And these are strategic supplies that also represent a form of insurance to preserve the region's political status quo.